भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So last class we finished up to mantra 6, I think, where the Upanishad gave us some details about Karma Kanda and what happens when a person engages in the Karma Kanda, what should be done and what benefits. That's what we saw in the last class. We will quickly continue by recapitulating it and move further. So essentially what we are saying is the central issue in Karma Kanda is karma is the basis. Everything happens with whatever the karmas laid out in our Vedic scriptures, and sacrifices are an important element of the karmas. Therefore there is a lot of emphasis on sacrifices. And the mantra also, we saw one or two mantras in which there are very specific instructions as a sample. If you have to do karma, you have to follow very strict instructions. For example, the second mantra, it says ahuti must be given only when there are full flames. You should not give a ahuti without flames. And you should be given between the two portions of the flame. So these are all indications. Essentially what it is saying is there are elaborate rules. There are very tight specifications for several aspects of the karma that can be performed. Very strict conditions. All these, because Upanishad is not going to talk in great detail about karma. But it is only indicating that karma, if you have to follow, there are strict vidhi and nisheda. If you follow all of them, then the ahuti is carried. The ahuti is carried, and then we saw in the last two mantras how the sun rays carry the ahuti and carry the individual itself to the 7 lokas. There is one mantra which also said if you mess up the karmas for 7 generations and for 7 lokas you will be destroyed. So all these are saying that karma kanda will give you, and the last mantra that we saw last week, after doing all these we will go to Indra Loka, which is Swarga. So this is what so far we have seen. So in the second chapter of the first Mundaka, the Upanishad starts by saying karma can be done. There are strict rules by which we have to do the karma. And if you follow the strict rules, you will go to Indra Loka. Up to that it has said. Now the Upanishad moves forward. So let us see two very important mantras that we will see today. We will see the 7th mantra in the second chapter of the first Mundaka. Plavahyete adrida yajna rupa ashtadashoktam yeshu karma yetachreyo yebinandanti mudaha jara mrutyum te punarevapiyanti. So this mantra, let us see the padacheda first. Before seeing the meaning, we will first split it up. Plava hi ete hete. Plava hi ete adrida yajna rupa ashtadashoktam avaram. Ashtadashoktam avaram yeshu karma yetat shreyah yaha abhinandanti mudaha ye abhinandanti mudaha jara mrityum na punaha eva api yanti. That is how the split of this shloka is. Plava means boat. We'll see the straight meaning. This is a very deep mantra. We'll have to understand it in detail. But we'll see the straight meaning. Plava means boat. Okay? He is indeed. He is just an emphasis to adjust for the number of syllables required in a meter. Sometimes you have to add cha, he and all that. So he. Okay? Adrida. Drida is firm. Adrida is shaky. So this boat is shaky now. Adrida. Yajna Rupa. The boat is nothing but takes the form of a yajna. So this Yajna Rupa Plava Adrida. This is what it is saying. This boat. Anyway, so Plava Hete Adrida Yajna Rupa Ashtadashoktam. Uktam, it is said that this Yajna has 18 components. Ashtadasho Uktam. Avaram. Avaram means inferior. So he says this boat is in avaram karma, eshu karma. So far the Upanishad was saying you can do karma. If you do karma properly, you will go up to Indraloka. All that it said. Now it is saying that this karma itself is inferior. So we will have to understand all that properly, but we will do it. Avaram karma. That is the first line. Second line says, Etat Shreyah Yaha Abhinandanti. Those who think this is great, this is Shreyas, this karya, this karma that we do, that is the really good thing. Like that some people think, Etat Shreyaha Yaha Abhinandanti Mudaha. They are all Mudas. Okay? Why they are Mudas? See, the Upanishad is making a strong statement now. It says Muda. Okay? So why is it saying Muda? The last line says, last part says, Jara Mrityumeva Punaha eva apiyanti. Such people will continuously go through old age, death, birth, old age, birth, death. This Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janam, that circle they will go. So this is what this mantra is saying. So in the first 7 mantras, 6 mantras, it said you can do karma, karma will give you Indraloka, all that it said. But in this mantra it says, this karma that you are doing using yajna as the main vehicle, because yajna rupa, yajna as a vehicle which has 18 components, he says it is avaram, it is inferior. Those who thought it is great, they are mudas. Why? Because jara mrityum te punaha eva apiyanti. Again and again they will go through the cycle of birth and death. So what it is saying is, you will go up to Swarga, but you will not be able to reach a state of immortality. See, in Ishavasya Upanishad, there is a nice mantra. It says, Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. If you are in a state of avidya, you can not reach immortality. At best, you can reduce the cycle of birth and death. That much you can do. You can't reach immortality. To reach immortality, you need vidya. This is what Ishavasya Upanishad is saying. So here it is saying this yajna karya and the benefits that you get, which takes you up to Swargaloka, is fine. But such people will be continuously in the process of birth and death. That is what it is saying. Now, this is a very, there are, what is Plava, why it is Adrida, why it is Ashtadasha, we will see all of them. Because that is what we have to understand. First, let us talk about these 18. Ashtadashoktam. What is these 18 components? So that we will see first. If you have to do any yajna, even if it is a Rajasuya yajna, or you do a small yajna at home, whatever it is, but this is for those bigger yajnas which give you greater benefits. First you need a Yajamana and a Yajamana Patni. They are the Adhikari. Ritvik will come, but then you need a Yajamana and a Yajamana Patni. Without that, no karma is possible. So they are the first two. So you have the Yajna Vedi, the altar is there, where you are going to give Ahuti. Then you have Yajamana and Yajamana Patni, two. Then there is one group called Hotragana. The leader is Hota. Hota plus three more subordinates. You can think like that. There is one captain and three more subordinates for him. They form one group. It's called Hotragana. Hotragana comes from Rigvedis. A Rigvedi Ritvik is called Hota. They are the Hotragana. So you have 4 people from Rigveda now. Now the 18 is now quickly understandable. 4 into 4, 16 is what is happening. 16 plus 2 is 18. That's how it is coming. Then you have Advaryugana. That is from Yajurveda. Advaryugana, again you have Advaryu who is the sort of a leader and he has 3 subordinates. You can think like that. So 4 of them. Advaryugana, they represent Yajurveda. Then you have what is called Udgatragana. The Udgata is Samaveda. Gana is singing. That's where it is coming. Udgatragana, which is from Samaveda. Again the leader is Udgata and there are 3 subordinates for him. So that makes it 1 plus 3, 4. Then you have what is called Brahmagana. Okay? And there is a Brahma. This Brahma is a very technical word. It is not that Brahma. Here the Brahma is a very technical word. He is the captain of the Atharva Veda. That's the meaning of it. And he has 3 subordinates. So now 4 plus 4, 16. 16 plus 2, 18. This is that 18 components that any yajna will have an 18 components. Now what is the Paddhati here? If you look at the Paddhati here, this is a Paddhati in all Vedic rites. The fire is invoked. First Agni Karya, Agni Adana, they say. First you have to do Agni Karya. Fire, because fire is the only medium in which you can actually offer the Ahuti. Fire only will take it to whomever you offer. That is why the largest Devata in Rigveda, one of the largest Devata after Indra is Agni. That's why the first mantra in Rigveda Samhita is Agnimi Ile Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hota Aharam Ratna Dhatamam Agnim Ile. That's the first mantra in Rigveda. Because you need Agni first. Hotaram Ratna Dhatamam, because he is the representative for all that you are asking. So Agni Karya is done in the altar. Then the Rigvedis come. Hotragana comes. They actually praise so the Rigvedic hymns are all praising the Devatas. They praise the Devatas and invoke the Devata there. That is their job. Now the Devata has come to the altar because you did praise, all praised, and then you brought them here. Then comes our Yajurvedis. The Yajna Karya can be done only by Yajurvedis. It is called Yajus. That's why it's called Yajna. The mantras are called Yajus. They know the technicality of actually how to do an yajna. They may borrow mantras from Rigveda, but Yajurveda has all the details of how to perform the yajna. That's why if you look at Ayushya Homam, if you see every mantra, you will say Tarpayamo Gritena, with ghee we will satisfy. That's how the Yajurveda Ayushya Sukta, if you see. That's how it comes. Tarpayamo Gritena, it will come. You see 4 or 5 mantras will be like that. So the Yajurvedis will actually do the yajna. That is why you need that gana. Then you have the third gana, which is Udgatu. After the deities are invoked by Rigveda and the offerings are made by the Yajurvedis, now the Udgatra gana, the Samavedis, will actually sing in praise of, even today in modern parlance, after dinner we have a small music, sit and have our dessert. You play a mild music, sit and have the dessert, like that. So the Devatas are sung beautifully with music. That is the Samagana. That is what they do. That is the third act. This is the sequential, chronological order. That is why you need a Udgatragana. Now we have a Brahmagana. The Brahmagana is the overall supervisor. He should know all the 4 Vedas. He is actually the master of ceremonies, sort of, let us think like that. He will constantly look at whether everything is going all right. If there is anything wrong, because the Upanishad just knows that if you do something wrong, you will be destroyed for 7 generations or 7 lokas. So somebody has to make sure things are working properly. That is the Brahmagana. He should be aware of everything. That is one. Number 2, while doing, if some problems come, he has to resolve. He has to give the parihara. Or if some clarifications are required, he has to give. So that's why you call Brahmagana. They are the Atharva Vedis, but they should be aware of all the 3 Vedas. Only then they will be able to give a parihara. So this is the 18 components that this is talking about. So any yajna will have 18 components. So you have the Rig Veda represented by Hotragana, Yajurveda represented by the Advaryugana, the Samaveda represented by Udgatragana, and the Atharva Veda represented by the Brahmagana. And there are specific names of these 18 people also. You can see there are specific names are there. For example, the Brahma is the leader, Brahmana Chamsi is the first subordinate, Agnidaha and Pota are the other 2 subordinates. If you take Udgatragana, which is the Samavedi, Udgata is the leader, Prastota, then Pratiharta, Subramanya. These are the technical names of the title of the people. Then you have the Hotragana, which is the Yajurvedi. Hota, you have Maitra Varnaha, you have Achavakaha and Gravastut. These are the other people's name. Then you have the Advaryugana, which is Rig Veda. So you have Advaryuhu, you have Pratiprastata, Neshta and Unneta. So these 18 people are required to do any yajna. That is why it said Ashtadashoktam. That is where the word 18 comes, right? Says Avaram. Avaram actually means inferior. We saw it in the second mantra itself, it said Avaram. In Mundakopanishad, Prathama Mundaka, second mantra, you will see the word Avaram will be there. It came down from Sishyas to Sishyas like that, there is the word Avaram, it gets a little bit distorted like that. Avaram means something which is inferior, okay? Now why is it inferior? Now Shankara Bhashya gives an answer to it. And what is it saying? It is saying, Upasana Rahita Tatvat Anitya Palakamiti Upasana Sahita Karma Apekshaya Avaram. It says, this karma that they are doing doesn't go with Upasana. It's only karma. Rahita, not Vihita. Rahita, not without. Vihita means with. So it says, Upasana Rahita. Rahitatvat, because it is characterized by no upasana. It is just a karma that they are doing. Upasana rahitatvat anitya palam. This pala is not nitya. That's why punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam is happening. It is an evaporating result, evaporating benefit. That's why he says anitya palam. That pala is not nitya. Compared to that, upasana sahita karma apekshaya, comparing to another work that you can do, in which there is also upasana, he says that is better. Because anything with upasana, so what is this upasana? Upasana is a single pointed focus. See, our journey to self-evolution, from karma we have to go to the upasana, then only you can go to, jnana. That is the bridge between karma and jnana, actually. That's why if you look at Brahmanas, Veda has 4 parts. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. The Brahmanas are technical details of how to do the many acts for the karma. Aranyakas take the same mantra but give a philosophical bent to it. There is upasana. In Aranyakas there is a lot of upasana. That's why Taittiriya Upanishad, this part of Taittiriya Aranyaka, there are Sikshavali alone, there are 8 upasanas. 8 or 9 upasanas are there. Bhriguvalli, there are upasanas. So, anything upasana means we are able to focus our mind. Single pointed focus, you are able to, call it as bhakti also. What is bhakti? Bhakti is our ability to stay put somewhere instead of getting distracted, going all over the place. So, what Shankaracharya is saying is any karma which is without upasana is inferior to a karma which is with upasana. Yes. So that is why upasana sahita karma apekshaya upasana rahitatvat anitya karma palamiti avaram. That's why it is inferior. Which means in the karma kanda it is all kamyeshti. There is, I want to get something and then I do a work for it. You may get that pala. The pala will evaporate. You are not going to become a better person. That's not the purpose of that. The purpose is I wanted something and I put my best foot forward. I did what the Veda said, I will get the benefit. You will definitely get the benefit. What happened to you as a person? You will not evolve. Because that is not the attitude with which you are doing that. There is no upasana, there is no Vedantic thinking, there is no deeper philosophical thinking. All those are not there. That's why he says it is avaram. Now this is available in Gita also. For everything I can quote Gita. Gita is the only reference for us. So let me take this shloka from chapter 2. Look at this shloka. It says, Durena hyavaram karma, buddhi yoga dhananjaya, buddhau sharanam anvicha, kripana palahetavaha. So what it says, buddhi yoga, hey Dhananjaya, hey Arjuna, buddhi yogat. What is buddhi yoga? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Nitya, nitya, karma, pala not available, sukha, dukkha. Right? Success, failure. We should be able to do work going beyond all that. That is yoga buddhi. He says buddhi yoga, compared to the buddhi yoga, that attitude to doing work, compared to that, avaram karma. Durena avaram karma. Work done with a certain expectation. Right? He says that is avaram. That's inferior. That's what Krishna is saying. That's what he is saying there. Buddho sharanam anvicha. Surrender yourself to the yoga buddhi. Do vyavahara in this world with yoga buddhi. Which means, put the best foot forward. Results may come, results may not come. Today it may come, tomorrow it may not come. Don't do that. Kripana pala hetavaha. These people who go after pala, they are all karpanya buddhi. They are all very misery people. They are very short-sighted in their approach and in their thing. That's what Bhagavad Gita also says. That avaram karma is coming here. That's why I brought this shloka. So what this Upanishad is saying is, while you do karma, as per karma kanda, you will get the benefit. But there is no upasana there. There is no larger picture behind it. And therefore, while you may get the benefit, you will not become a better person. Nor you will escape the cycle of birth and death. That's the point it is coming to. That is where the avaram is coming. So avaram karma means that jara mrityum te punareva apiyanti. So the Upanishad says they will go through the cycle of birth and death. So that, again in Bhagavad Gita, look at this chapter 9 so beautifully. These entire 8 mantras are contained here. So far what we have seen is compressed in these 2 slokas. Look at what it is saying. Traividyamam somapa puta papaha yajnairištva swargatim prartayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharma manuprapannaha gata gatam kama kama labhante. The entire 8 mantras is summarized in these 2 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. What is it saying? Traividya, 3 Vedas. Essentially it is talking about 3 Vedas, are the 3 parts of the Veda. Not the Upanishad, not the Jnana Kanda, the Karma Kanda. Okay? Traividya mam somapaha. They do soma yajna. Somapaha putapapaha. So they get purified because they did soma yajna. They get purified for a cause. Whatever the cause that they wanted, they got purified for it. Somapaha putapapaha yajnaihi ishtva swargatim prartayante. Having done the yajna, they will reach swarga. Swargatim prartayante. They do prarthana for swarga and they get it. Te punyam asadya. Having done this karma, they get punya. Credit balance is there in their account. They get credit. Te punyam asadya surendra lokam ashnanti. Ashnanti is eat. Eat means consume. Consume means experience. These are all figurative usages. I consume means I experience. Surendra lokam. Suranam indraha, which is Devaloka. Surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divi deva bhogan. They will Deva bhogan ashnanti. They consume the Deva Bhogas, which is so, good and so nice to enjoy. So they will enjoy. That is what the first shloka is saying. What is the second shloka saying? Tetam bhuktva. Whatever credit you took, went with you, credit started. As you keep on consuming, credit balance is coming down now. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam. Having exhausted all the credit they got, okay? Kshine punye, the punya become kshina. The credit has become zero now. We have a credit balance, we can keep on spending. Once the balance becomes zero, that's the end of it. Na? So, kshine punye, what happens? Martya lokam vishanti. This loka is called the loka of death. Because whoever comes here, as you cannot stay here forever. You have to clear off and go. That's why this loka is called Martya loka. Sarve atra janaha mrityum anubhavanti iti Martya loka. Mrityum eva anubhavanti ye atra agachanti. That's why it is Martya loka. This is a world of death. Therefore, they come to this mortal world, rather, not immortal, mortal world. Martya lokam vishanti, they enter. Wish is to enter. You need visa to enter. That came from wish only. Sanskrit root wish means to enter. So you need visa to enter. That's why pravesh. Right? Evam, like this, Trayi dharmam anuprapannaha, those who followed the dharma in those three parts, which is the karma kanda. Trayi dharmam anuprapannaha, gata agatam, they will be in the habit of going and coming. It's not one-way traffic, you have to come back. Gata agatam kama kamaha labante, they will be able to satisfy their desire. That part will be satisfied, but they will come back. This is what all the mantras that we have seen in these two shlokas summarizes it so beautifully. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, shloka 20 and 21. All the Mundakopanishad shlokas, mantras are summarized so beautifully here. That's why Gita is always great. It has everything that you want for. It's a summary of everything. It's the greatness of Gita. So that's what it is saying. This is exactly like our, Sterling holiday. You have 3 days a year. So you can go 3 days a year and then you have to come back. Or you may buy for 8 days a year. It is a little more costly. So you can buy, and there are different properties, different plans also. You can go to any property, means the charge is a little more. But fact is, you have to come back. But you can exhaust only that much. So this buying this annual 4-day in a Sterling holiday is like buying a certain amount of Janma and then going out of this world. That is a Sterling holiday resort. Now you have to come back here. That is what this mantra is saying. That is why Jara Mrityum te punaryeva apiyanti. They will have to go through the process of birth, old age and death. Nobody can escape such people. They will get temporary benefit, but they will have to come back here. That's why that mantra, that part is coming. This Traigunyo Bhavarjuna, the Traigunya Vishaya, that Anyata. Trigunatmika Vishaya. That's what, in any of the stotras you will find it. That's why, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare, Shainam, Igasamsare, Bhagatustare. I quoted it a few times in the last 4 or 5 classes, again and again. So anyway, I don't have to. Look at this shloka again in Bhagavad Gita. What is it saying? It is saying, it's chapter 5. What is it saying? Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Samsparshaja, sparsh means touch. Sam means very well, which means you are deep into it. It is not touching you. You are deep into it. Samsparsha means it is not casually touching you. You are fully into it. That's the meaning of the word samsparsha. Samsparshajaha bhogaha. So we are deep into bhoga. It's not that we, a little bit on the lesha. No. We are into it. So samsparshajaha bhogaha dukkha yoni. They are the dukkha yoni. They are the root cause for your dukkha because they are only temporary benefit. You have to come back again. You can temporarily enjoy for some time. In fact, I actually hate to sit in an AC room in a place like Chennai. Because when I come out, it is hell. Inside is okay. The moment you come out, particularly if I have to go to few more places, I tell them, don't put me in an AC room. Once you get in, it's all nice. When you come out, dukkha yoni. That coolness is the cause of my discomfort later, na? So like that, this sukha is the cause of the dukkha. That's why it's called dukkha yoni. Dukkha yoni evate. They are all only, dukkha generating. Okay? And adyantavantaha. They have adi and anta. It's not permanent. It begins and it ends. Like a holiday resort. 3 days. It begins today morning, you checked in. 3 days back, they will check you out if you don't check out. Only instead of ye, they will put you there. That's all. Instead of check, they will check if you don't get out of it. So, adyantavantaha. Hey Kaunteya, hey Kuntiputra, please understand all these samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yoneyaha. They are the cause of your dukkha. You would have been better off not consuming it. You would have been better off not consuming any of those. Having consumed it, now you are feeling it even strongly. Na teshu ramate buddhaha. Buddhivantas don't go into it. Na teshu ramate. They know that this is very temporary. This is very cheating. Therefore, my favorite example is if you want to buy a multi-story apartment, don't go and see a model flat. Because it is dukkha yoni. The model flat will look very nice. Your flat will never look anywhere near it. Unnecessarily, don't build expectation by seeing a model flat. So like that, don't get into a very fancy situation. That's not reality. Reality is somewhere else. That's why nateshu ramate buddhaha. Buddhivantas, they don't go near it because they know these are all too cumbersome. Let us not do it. Now there are other very nice parts of the Sankara Bhashya which explains all these. Okay? Plava. Plava, I said, is boat. Shankaracharya says Plava actually has a meaning Vinashinaha ityartaha. So this boat can capsize after a while. It is not only, that's why it is adrida. It is not only adrida, it can capsize. So he says in this context, Plava is Vinashinaha ityartaha. It has a capability to destroy you. So that's what he is saying. Vinashinaha ityartaha. Then he says, Etatcha jnanarahitam karma etavat palam avidya kama karma karyam ataha asaram dukkha moolam iti nindyate. He says, why is Upanishad talking so bad about this karma? Why is it doing ninda? He says it is simply because jnana rahitam. There is no jnana in that act. There is only karma. There is no jnana. Okay? So jnana rahitam karma. Etavat palam avidya kama karyam. It is all, the palas are all lower level. Avidya kama karyam. Ataha asaram. There is no sara in that. There is nothing good about it. Ataha asaram dukkha moolam. Iti nindyante, because it is the source for all your dukkha. The Upanishad is talking very strongly about it. That's what he is saying. Nindyante, nindam karoti. That's why the Upanishad is talking like this, because please understand. Then he gives another beautiful example. Look at the next sentence, so powerful. He says, Kunda vinashativa kshira dadyadinam tastanam nashaha. Undu patra ade, undu kunda. You have a pot. In pot you have kept curd or let's say milk. Dadi, kshira dadyadinam. Kshira is milk, dadi is curd. Na? He says, if you have a pot in which you had some curd or milk, what happens if the pot destroys? He says the milk is destroyed. If the pot is destroyed, the milk is destroyed. So in the same way, if the basis on which you are doing is nasha, what you have done is also nasha. The basis is not good enough. The basis is not good enough. What you did and all that you did all will go vyartha. That's why he gives this example. Kunda nasha. Kunda vinashadhiva kshira dadyadinam tat sthanam nasha. When the kunda gets destroyed, the kshira gets destroyed, the dadi gets destroyed, sarvam nasham bhavati. So therefore, you should have a good patra. Without a patra, vastu will not be there. So we should be sat patras. Only then sat vastu will be there. Even if a sat vastu is there, if the patra is bad, it will go. That's what it is saying. That's the point he is making here. The patra is very important to protect the vastu. The patra is gone, vastu is also gone. So that's why adrida. That's why he says it is shaky, because it is not taking you to the ultimate goal. It gives you some temporary benefits, small little temporary benefits. He says that's not good. That's why he gives that example. Uktam katitam shastrena yeshu ashtadashasu avaram kevalam jnanavarjitam karma. He says the Shastra has said, and as per Shastra only they did that. But then there is jnana rahita. Since it is jnana rahita, it will not take you to your mumukshutvam, will never happen. You will not get moksha. That is why it is jnana varjitam karma, therefore it is avaram. So all these explanations, these are all Shankara Bhashya. For this mantra, Shankara has given several Bhashyas. I pulled a few sentences just to tell you how he has looked at the whole thing. That's why he says the Upanishad is doing an ninda because it is an unstable thing. That's why it is unstable and all that. So that's what he is saying in this mantra. Then the next mantra is followed. In fact, the rest of the mantras here is preparing us for Jnanakanda. That's how the chapter is going to end now. There are 4 or 5 mantras. They are all taking clue from here and then moving. So let us look at here. It's a very famous mantra. Avidyamantare vartamanaha swayam dhira panditam manyamanaha janganyamana pariyanti mudaha andeneva niyamana yatandaha. Very powerful analogy is giving here, Upanishad. Let's see what it is saying. Avidyamantare, you are in an ocean of ignorance. You didn't see the big picture. You thought I need something now, I'll do a karma kanda and get it. A lot of us actually even conduct our life like that. We are looking for some small little benefits. We do what needs to be done, we get the benefit. We don't see the big picture. So, avidyamantare vartamanaha, we are all stooped in avidya, immersed in avidya. Antare vartamanaha, which means we are stooped. We are all immersed into it completely. That's the meaning of this correct word. Avidyamantare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. We think we are great. We are panditas. This is, in fact, not knowing is one level of ignorance. Knowing that what I don't know, even when I don't know anything, know that I know everything is a recipe for complete disaster. See, if you don't know anything, that's okay. That's one kind of a trouble. But the ignorance is Brahma Satya if you think. If you think your ignorance is actually Brahma Satya, that's a much greater problem. That's what he's saying. Swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. They think I am a great dhira, buddhivanta. I can use my buddhi so well. I am so intelligent. And I am doing some ignorant things thinking they are the great things. Okay? Swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. Janganyamanaha. They are oppressed and miserable. That's what will happen. The Upanishad says you will be oppressed and miserable in this process. Pariyanti. See, yanti means go. Pari, the upasarga pari in Sanskrit means again and again, circumference, circular. That's why the transport is called pariyatanam. It goes again and again. 18 bus comes from KBS to 9th block, again goes to KBS, again comes to 9th block. That's why pariyatanam. Pariyatana and Nigam, whatever, Delhi Pariyatana and Nigam, Delhi Transport Corporation. Pari means again and again. Rotation, circular, like that. Pariyanti, which means these guys keep on going on a chakra. Pariyanti, yanti means to go. Pariyanti means to keep on going round and round. That's the meaning. Mudaha. Okay? They are real idiots, is what he is saying. And then it gives a beautiful simile. Andeneva. Niyamanaha yata andaha. There are 10 blind men. They want to go from here to Ragiguda temple. One blind man says, I will take you, I know how to go. Ande neva, taken by an anda. A blind man says, I will take you to, some place, and he is leading 10 blind people along with him. Where will they reach? There is no way they are going to reach. One blind leading 10 blinds. That is the example it gives. Andeneva nitamanaha yata andaha. There are blind men. Andaha is plural of anda. So there are some n number of blind people. Nitamana, niyamanaha. See, neta came only from here. One who leads is called leader. Nayati. Nayati means leads. In Sanskrit, Nayati means leads. So Neta. So Niyamanaha. One who is being taken. Blind people are taken by another blind people. He says, I know the path, I will take you. I don't know where they will reach. So that is what the Upanishad is saying. He is saying that avidyamantare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha janganyamanaha paryanti mudaha andena niyamanaha etandaha. Just like a set of blind people are. So this is what will happen if you are stooped in just karma kanda. This is what the Upanishad is actually telling, bringing this idea quite strongly here. Why it is saying like that? Why is it so strong? That's the question. Why is it so strong? It can be a little milder. It has really taken a sledgehammer and then hit very strongly, sort of. That's the feeling we get. So please understand, let us leave it aside. We'll look at a normal thing. Suppose we are doing a work. Forget about all these mantras. We'll take a very simple example. Suppose we want to accomplish a work. Some work we are taking up, right? It can be griha karya, it can be in the office, it can be anything, it can be personal work, anything. Let's say we take some work. The question is, when will you say the work will be completed, work is satisfactorily done? This is the question. So I have put some conditions here. Because if these conditions are not fulfilled, that work will never get finished. First, efforts do not generate any counter effects. You put X amount of effort and it creates 2X amount of counter effect. That means after you take one step, you have taken 3 steps backward. That's the meaning, na? So first of all, your work should not create a counter effect. It's called pratyavaya. In Sanskrita, pratyavaya anta heltare. This is called pratyavaya. If you do something, it should not have a counter effect. If the counter effect is more than what you did, you will be either in back to square one, or you will be actually, instead of going forward, you will be going backward. Work will never get accomplished. Point number 1. Point number 2, there is no need to put efforts again and again. That's a worthless game, na? I put so much effort today, tomorrow I have to come and start afresh. Just imagine. I am building this house. Today I did a little bit. Tomorrow I will come and continue on it. If you say tomorrow also I will start foundation work. Just imagine a situation. I start a work and go up to a point. Next day I come, I have to start from scratch. That work will never get completed. Every Janma purely with karma will be like that. We will come to it later. We will not be traveling on the path even 1 inch forward. Maybe we are 2 steps backward. That's what I am trying to say. Okay? The results are not temporary and vanishing in nature. If you put effort and you get results, and if it vanishes after some time, what use is this effort? I cannot count that work as being completed. The results must be with you forever. The ideal thing is forever. Nothing vanishes. What if you say that I put a lot of effort, but the results are very temporary? Sterling holiday. 3 days, come back. Khatam. That experience is over. It's like a trailer. Come back and then let us start all over again. That work is not a very interesting work. The results are temporary and vanishing, then there is a problem. There is a guarantee of progress with incremental effort, so that in a finite number of steps the goal must be reached. This is very important, na? If I start a work, you should be able to tell, sir, in a finite time you will complete. Maybe a week, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 1 month. If you can't give me that guarantee, I should not get into that work at all. It's not worth. In a finite time, I should be able to finish it. You should give me that guarantee. No. You put effort, in a finite time you will. In Karma Kanda, you put infinite effort, you will not reach the goal. That's the point. You will come back again and again and again. This is like this merry-go-round. It's just, like that. So therefore, if there is no guarantee of progress, for any incremental effort that I put in a finite number of steps, that work is not a good work. That work is never said to be accomplished at all. Let it be a household work, let it be a work in a temple, let it be a work in an office, all these rules will apply. These rules are very general rules. Then, the goals and destinations itself are to be good, no? You should not work for a goal, the goal will disappear. You should have very robust goals. The goals are really good. The example I give as a professor of management, the example I give is zero defects. In quality, the goal is zero defects. You should not talk of 1% defective, 2% defective, they are all not good. You all teach what is called zero defects. That's a very good goal. Zero defects, zero breakdown, zero mistakes, zero customer complaints. Zero is a goal. Goal must be very good. It may take time to reach. But if the goals are very sada sida, that effort is useless again. So this temporary benefit. So now the karma kanda you should relate to every bullet point here. This is what the Upanishad is saying. If you look at the karma kanda, it says work will have counter effect. Slightest mistake you do, 7 generations to gone. Counter effect will be there. You have to put efforts again and again because you are anyway coming back. Right? The results are temporary and vanishing. That kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. It goes surendra lokam and ashnanti divideva bhogan. Parantu kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. You have to come back, so finished. It is all gone, vanishing. It's not available forever. Right? And therefore it will not be in finite number of steps. That's why samsara chakra. Shankaracharya in his Viveka Chudamani say, Shata Koti Janmasu. Shata Koti is 10 power 9. Koti is 10 power 7. Into 2, 10 power 9. Shata Koti. Average human year, 100 years you take. That means 10 power 11 human years is what we are. 1 followed by 11 zeros. That many Janma Amela we will see. That's what he is saying. Because there are no finite steps. We are just going round and round and round and round and round. Right? Therefore, this goal of temporary benefits that a karma kanda will 100% assure you is not a robust goal. It's not a great goal. It is okay. It's not a great goal. See, people work for promotions still and do everything possible to get the promotion. I have not still heard a person who said after the first promotion, my happiness come to an end. Actually, I became more unhappy. Now I have to look for a second promotion. I have to look for a third promotion. People who have bought the first car has never been happy. They know that from Maruti 800 you have to go to now sedan. From sedan you have to go to SUV, you have to go to a sunroof and something. You have to go to a multi-utility vehicle. So that is, the goals are all very inferior goals. So that work is a work in progress forever. You will keep on doing work, nothing will happen. You will only get destroyed. Your Vyaktitva Vikasa will not happen. So the question is, the goal is Vyaktitva Vikasa. The goal is not these benefits. These benefits anyway we will not get. That's the Yoga Buddhi. That's what Krishna talks about in Gita. These things will come and go. We should actually aspire for it. But it should not come in the way of our peace of mind. Our goal is not there. That's only some intermediate steps. Our goal is Vyaktitva Vikasa. This individual should beautifully blossom. The individual should evolve. Then reach that liberation. Which is non-fleeting. Which is permanent. There is no, it's a one-way traffic, not a two-way traffic. That is why Upanishad is saying, Pariyanti Mudaha. They will go on and on and on in this chakra forever. This is going to be a non-ending goal, which is not worthwhile. So in other words, I will stop with these 4 questions. Imagine, we are in this chakra vyuha. Imagine our samsara is something like this. Imagine we are in the chakra vyuha. There are 4 questions. How many times one must go through this to escape? You will not escape, let me tell you. Unless you develop escape velocity, you will not escape. If you keep on going inside, you keep on going forever. So the answer to the first question is, you will not escape unless you develop escape velocity or an escape path. If you are within this chakra, you will only keep on going round and round and round and round. There is no end to it. Right? How long should we go round and round in this path to escape? Until you knew how to escape, you will have to keep on going. You have to keep on going until you know. That's why Upasana Rahita, Jnana Rahita karma is very dangerous. That Jnana Rahita and Upasana Rahita karma is going in this circle without developing any escape velocity. That is the meaning. That is the meaning of that word actually. Jnana Rahita and Upasana Rahita means you have not understood how to get out of this chakra vyuha. That's the meaning that Shankaracharya is giving there. When will we come out of it if we follow someone who does not know how to get out of this spiral? You will never come out. He himself doesn't know. Andena yata nitamana yata andaha. If I don't know how to get out of this spiral, don't come behind me. Because you will also just come behind me and we will keep on going. Right? That's what that mantra said. Andena nitamanaha yata andaha. 4. How to develop the escape velocity from this spiral? There is a way to develop the escape velocity. That is the jnana sahita atava upasana sahita karma. That is what Krishna painstakingly talks in Bhagavad Gita as karma yoga. Otherwise it becomes karma bhoga. That bhoga will lead to roga. Karma bhoga will lead to roga. Karma yoga will take you out of it. So he presents that escape velocity in a different way in Bhagavad Gita. And the same idea you will find in Upanishad in a slightly different way. So I think we will stop here today. I think it's 6 o'clock, we will stop here. We wasted 5 minutes, so 1 hour is okay. So we will actually, so what has happened is this Prathama Mundaka is going to be over. Another 4 mantras will be over. But what is happening in the first Mundaka? This, Angiras came and Shaunaka came to Angiras and asked, Kasmin Vijnate Sarvavidam Vijnatam Bhavati. Tell me what is known of everything, I will be known of everything else. Tell me that. Angiras said Paravidya, Aparavidya. There is something called Paravidya and Aparavidya. Very quickly he gave a definition. In the second chapter, he gives a taste of what Aparavidya is. A Vidya which emphasizes only Karma Kanda and Karma Pala is Aparavidya. There cannot be Paravidya. It is Aparavidya. So that is what is happening in this second chapter of the first Mundaka. Now once that is established, the Upanishad now will go to Paravidya. The next 2 Mundakas has 4 chapters, 2 each, 2 subsections each. There royally it gets into the Paravidya, which is Jnana Sampadana. So it is preparing us for it. It said, oh fine, karma is good, you will go to Indraloka. It really gave you very attractive things, then threw a big sledgehammer at you and said that no, be a little careful. It is not going to be what it is and so on. So that is where it is. I think we will stop here, and next week we will continue with another 4 more mantras are there, I think 4 or 5 mantras in this Mundaka. We will see them because it finally takes us to what we should do to go into Jnanakanda. That is also mentioned in the mantras only. How do you prepare yourself and then finally move there very quickly? Because Upanishads will not talk very detailed. We have to talk detailed. It will only put a mantra and a shloka and leave it at that. And we will see it in the future classes to come. I think with this we will stop here. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma viddvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.